Welcome to the Gorilla Finger Show on the Good in the Hood Network. I am your host, Stuart, aka Stewie Do It, and you are watching another episode of Conspir-A-See-The-Future. Let's get right into it. We got a good one today. As you can see today, we're going to be talking about LARPing. If you're not familiar with what LARPing is, um, we have a picture of LARPing right there. What you see is the Atlanta Falcons versus the LA Raiders. Now bullshit. Now, actually, that's a picture of LARPing. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to draw a comparison between LARPing and professional football, professional sports in general. Is professional sports LARPing? That's our conspiracy that we're going to see the future of today. LARPing, when I say LARPing, it's an acronym for live action role playing. So you get what I'm saying is professional sports rigged? Is it scripted? Is it LARPing? I have some evidence today to present my case. I believe it is. Used to be a great sports fan. I stopped watching sports when I realized that it was a LARP. So I wanted to first thing I did when I was started going down this rabbit hole is I wanted to ask AI. I wanted to ask AI what it thought of football being scripted, rigged, is it LARPing? So I asked them. Well, let's go. Go ahead and take this down. Where'd my LARPing thing go? We'll do it live. Let's do it live. I lost my little page here, but let's do it. Chat. We're gonna go chat GPP. We want to ask: is professional football LARPing? Is it, or is professional sports in general is it LARPing? LARPing is live action role playing. We're gonna be saying that a lot this game. What we're like really mean is it rigged? Are sports rigged? Professional sports? Let's go ahead and ask Chat GTP what they think. Of course, we don't always believe everything that we see. However, ChatGTP is an AI program like an updated Google. You can ask it extensive questions and it'll give you long answers, detailed answers. So I questioned it. Is the National Football Team scripted? And the answer it gave me: no, the National Football League is not scripted. The NFL is a professional American league consisting of 32 teams, and the outcomes of the games are determined by actions and performances of the players and coaches on the field. While there may be rules and regulations in place to ensure fair play, the games themselves are not scripted or predetermined. Okay, that's what they say. So, conspiracy theories or rumors suggested that the NFL is scripted or fixed are not supported by credible evidence and are generally considered baseless. Um, I'm going to show you some evidence today. So, ChatGTP, I don't know, you got this one wrong, but let's continue. The competitive nature of the sports, the high stakes involved, and the intensive media coverage make it highly unlikely that the NFL would engage in such practices. It's important to remember that the professional sports leagues like the NFL rely on the integrity of their competitions to maintain their credibility and fan base. Any evidence of scripting or fixing would have severe consequences for the league's reputations and financial viability. Well, that last paragraph describes why they do script it. Why I believe it's scripted. Sometimes you got to read through the line, read between the lines, and not laugh. It's important to remember that the professional sports leagues like the NFL rely on the integrity of their sports competitions to maintain their credibility and fan base. And any evidence of scripting or fixing would have severe consequences for the league's reputation and financial viability. There you go. There's a reason why they cover it up, because it's going to hurt their pockets. If we were to find out that these sports are scripted, these leagues are going to face financial devastation. They're going to lose a lot of money. So I want to get into this. I want to show you the evidence that I have. I've been going through some of this stuff, and this isn't anything new. This goes back very far. Back in the days. And here's just a quick little video.
Hearing from the powers that be, anything?
They just want me to go away right now.
We've spoken to them, and they don't want to talk about it either. They have nothing to say.
But they're not denying anything, and they're not refuting any of the facts.
Let me talk about some of the major charges. And I just jotted down a few of the. I mean, you're saying, for example, virtually every team owner gambles on football teams.
Well, I'm saying that no fewer than 26.
That's
NFL team owners have documented ties. Past and present NFL team owners have documented business ties to either the gambling community and or the organized crime syndicate. I'm also seeing that no fewer than 70 NFL games have been fixed.
Now that's pretty rough stuff. You're saying no fewer than 70 NFL games have been fixed. You mean the outcome, the point spread, what?
I'm saying the points were shaved and thereby fixed.
How does this happen?
Well, I first got into this about 1983. Vincent Persani, who is the head of the Michigan State Attorney General's Office Organized Crime Division, told me, if you're going to do a book about the NFL, Dan, you're going to have to get into this guy, Don Dawson, because he was fixing games. We knew it. I went to my friends and my sources at the Internal Revenue Service, the Organized Crime Intelligence Division. They said Don Dawson was fixing games. I went to the FBI, the Organized Crime and Racketeering Section of the Justice Department, and Strike Force field offices. Everybody told me what Don Dawson was fixing games. At that point, I had enough evidence to print that allegedly Don Dawson was fixing NFL games. He was a major bookmaker in the Midwest. I then went to Dawson. I tracked him down. I jumped through all kinds of hoops to interview him. And when I interviewed him on about the 7th or 8th interview, he admitted to me that he had personally participated in the fixing of no fewer than 32 NFL games.
How does that happen?
He liked to work with the quarterback. He would go to the quarterback would come to him and say, I need some bread. What's the line on the game this week? And the bookmaker would say, you guys are favored by 6 points. And then the reply was, we're not going to cover the spread. And basically that was it.
Now, do you name players?
Oh, sure. I name players. And also in 1979, I go into the specifics of 8 fixed games that were allegedly fixed by 2 referees who were investigated by both the FBI and the IRS. And I list the 8 games on page 308 of the book.
Yeah.
So that's just one case of it. That goes way back to the 80s. Okay. Bookie Don Dawson was a bookmaker. He's a bookie. So he was likely, I don't want to make assumptions, but obviously he was attached to Vegas in some way, form, or fashion, which is why I believe that today a lot of these games are fixed as well. Most recently, I stopped watching football and sports a while ago, but most recently there was evidence of Aaron Rodgers. Okay. First game of the season, tears his Achilles tendon. Not unlikely in sports, but what is very peculiar is that David Zalav, he is a Disney executive, put out a tweet hours before the game predicting it. And it says, 40-year-old QB on rain-drenched turf against the best team in football. What could go wrong? Am I right? And then he predicts Aaron Rodgers is going to tear an Achilles on rain-drenched MetLife turf in 2.5 hours. Now, that was a prediction. Of course, this tweet his tweet. You can't go to his page and see this tweet no more. It's been since deleted, but it's been screenshotted, and there it is right there. Coincidence? I think not. Of course, the normies are going to be pissed right now. Here goes the normies. Let me show you the normies. These are normies. These are the football normies, the sports normies, the statistic normies. They be rooting for their team and sport. They would never believe that they could not fathom that they're being duped.
Go team! Go sports!
All right. Can you just explain what's going on here?
I thank you. I have no idea.
I'm not eating this.
Sports!
Sports.
So happy with my daughter. She loves
Go sports.
She loves broccoli, and that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's a normie. That's a sports normie. And you guys know there's a lot of sports normies out there. And it's the reason why these games are rigged, obviously, is to line the pockets. To line the pockets of, you heard the previous interview. He said it's the owners, the bookies. This just recently happened too. Like I said, I'm not watching football.
This is the most clear Vegas phone call I've ever seen in my life. This is pure insanity. 10-point game, 10 seconds left. Look at the ref. Look at the ref. You might think the place is on fire. They rush up to the line and spike the ball. And you gotta be shitting me. The spread is Rams +7. They're kicking a field goal on 2nd and 10 with 4 seconds left. Why? Tell me why. I want one good reason why.
I can give you a good reason.
With no time left on the clock.
I can give you a good reason. And Las Vegas had something to do with it. Okay. In sports, the objective is to win. Am I wrong? So if you're down by 10 points with a few seconds left and you were wanting to win this game, play it.
Why not just take a shot at the end?
And you are wanting to win this game, would you not? Okay. Throw that pass. Go down. He goes down. Okay. How much seconds left? 11 seconds back on the clock. They down it. Okay. Now, let's say you don't go for the field goal. Let's say they go for the field goal. There's 4 seconds left on the clock. Okay. They get the field goal off and then walk off the field. So what was the point of kicking the field goal? Is it for statistics, or could it be to cover the spread? I believe they are generally attempting to win. This play would have been a pass towards the sideline to try to stop the clock and put them in field goal range. Okay. Now, with more seconds on the clock, of course, they kick the field goal within field goal range and then attempt the onside kick. That's how you're going to get the 10 points that you need to tie up the game, which will give you a chance to win the game. But as you can see here, there was no attempt to even win. They just were trying to cover this Las Vegas spread. If that's not enough evidence for you, let's keep going. What we got here? Oh. Let's watch this one over. So it's just another evidence of scripted. It's like, okay, have you ever asked yourself why football players play? Let's highlight the word players. Play. It's a game. Okay. Why do game players make more money than real life heroes like firefighters? Okay. You have these sports players who are making multi-million dollars contracts, and firefighters who will run into a burning building to save you, only making $100,000 a year in a big city. Okay. Why is that? My answer to you is because these players are actors, which is why they make actor money. Okay. Now, this is the script right here. Listen to the script that he is about to play out for you.
The first time, fittingly, February 12th is Abe Lincoln's birthday. Here we go with the highlights in case you missed it. It's going to take a little while. Well, it was worth it.
Oh, my bad. Let me go back. I wanted to play from the start for you.
Also, of course, two African-American quarterbacks starting against each other in the Super Bowl for the first time, fittingly. February 12th is Abe Lincoln's birthday. Here we go with the highlights in case you missed it. It's going to take a little while.
Did you hear the script? The script is two African-American quarterbacks playing each other for the first time in a Super Bowl on the president who freed the slaves' birthday. It's a movie script. That is 100% a movie script.
Well, it was worth the wait. Chiefs, Eagles. Also,
Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going down this line. Here goes this is a former NFL player, Dwight Smith. He just comes out and says it on a sports show. Let's watch. I'm gonna speed it up.
Champion Dwight Smith, who was a part of that team, 2 pick sixes. We all know what he did against the Raiders, but he joins us here on the Ronnie T. Crash Show as we count down to Super Bowl Sunday. Dwight, Ronnie, and Tom here. How are you? Welcome to the show. All right.
We have right.
There it is.
Oh, is that right? Well, we got a great matchup coming up with Super Bowl 55. Obviously, the Buccaneers are playing on their home field. They're not the home team. I guess you could say they're the home team, but it's supposed to be a neutral field. But just tell me, as a former Buccaneer, how surreal is this for the Bucs to be in the Super Bowl in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium?
That's a good question, man. I would like to ask some Tampa fans that question because I really don't know.
Well, I mean, this is something that no one's ever seen before. I mean, you're hosting the Super Bowl. The Bucs are in it. It's Brady versus Mahomes. I mean,
something I predicted at the beginning of the year. I said if the NFL wanted to have the home team in the Super Bowl, this would be the perfect year. Pandemic, people can't travel, so it's not a shock to me.
How big of an advantage?
Did you catch that? Did you catch that? And it makes a lot of sense. This is one of the first years where the Super Bowl team is playing a home game at their home stadium. And why is that? It's because COVID lockdowns. People can't travel. So what better year to have the winning team play on their home field, the Super Bowl team play on their home field. It's a perfect year to do that when people can't travel. So all the players from Kansas, Philly, which aren't really that far apart, they can travel to Kansas City and play in Travis. I'm sorry, am I tripping? I fucked that up. I'm sorry. Tampa Bay and the Eagles. They're not that far apart. But how convenient that the NFC champions play in their home team for the home stadium for the Super Bowl.
You think it will be for the Buccaneers not having to travel anywhere? Because obviously, when you were in the Super Bowl,
that's not no advantage. They don't have no advantage.
No advantage? Okay.
No.
All right, so
everybody's saying they have advantage at every home game during the year. So I mean, it ain't like they won every home game, so it ain't much of an advantage. Y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So, I don't get into all the X's and O's and talking, man. Like I said, I played in the game. I set a Super Bowl record, and we knew every play they was running before the game started. So, hey.
You heard that. He says he believes that the game is decided before they hit the field, and that when he played in the Super Bowl, his team knew all the plays that the other team were going to run before the game. How did he know that? Did he have the script?
The game, I set a Super Bowl record, and we knew every play they was running before the game started. So, hey, who am I to say?
Well, tell us about that week leading up to the Super Bowl, because
okay, notice how the host of the show just completely brush over his allegations of the game being rigged. They just get right by that. They're trying to act like they never heard it. but they're going to have to confront it because he just keeps going.
That was the big thing. Bill Callahan was the Raiders coach at the time. Obviously, John Gruden had just come over. Tell us about that week of preparation leading up to the game and how it was executed by you guys. I mean, you can know which plays are coming. And
Tim Brown and Jerry Rice come out and say that they made them run Jerry Rice. I mean, John Gruden's offense.
Yes. Yep. It was his offense, and you guys knew exactly what was coming. Did you know every single play?
They didn't run that offense all year though. Ain't it odd that you would run it when you're playing against us?
So did you guys know every play before the ball was snapped?
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm going to say.
You see, he didn't want to answer that question with a straight yes or no answer. He said, because obviously he must have signed some type of contract that doesn't allow him to speak on stuff like this. But he's beating around the bush, and you have to read between the lines. But listen closely.
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I predicted who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It ain't about who has the best players. Football is entertainment. So what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes.
Entertainment. Like LARP-ing? LARP-ing? NFL LARP-ing?
Football is entertainment. So what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes. Has nothing to do with if these are the best teams, because we know that these aren't the best teams. The Bucs are not the best NFC team.
So who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
But the Bucs beat them at Lambeau, though. I mean, the Bucs proved it. They went there. They beat Aaron Rodgers at his place.
You can say what you want, man. Like I say, the game ain't decided on the field.
But the Bucs beat Green Bay like 38-10 at Raymond James Stadium.
You're not listening to me, man. You keep saying
so how is it decided then if it's not on the field?
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007.
Now they have to confront it because he's not going to stop with that narrative. He keeps on pushing the envelope. The game is rigged. Decided before it's on the field. It's not decided on the field. And now the host finally have to confront and address the allegations.
So how is it decided then if it's not on the field?
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007. I had two pick sixes. One I took back 93 yards, another pick up there in New York. We beat them 40-something. We didn't have Adrian Peterson. They went on to win a Super Bowl. Like, you go about who beat what and how? Like, come on, man. Stop that.
All right, so how do you see this one playing out on Sunday?
It depends on when Vegas make that call.
It depends on what Vegas wants to call. Hey, you normies really, really believe in your sports. Like, it's a religion to you. Y'all be having a jersey, y'all be showing up at the game and shit. You might as well go watch a fucking play at you go watch Beetlejuice live action movie. It's LARP-ing, y'all. You go watch what I go see? What's that? Where the Wizard of Oz played with the evil angel. I forgot what it's called. But anyways, any of these plays, go watch The Lion King. All these plays, it's all entertainment. It's LARP-ing.
How Vegas ain't gonna lose the most money.
So do you think the Bucs' original Super Bowl that you were a part of and won was illegitimate?
I think everyone is.
If you don't mind me asking then, and we obviously appreciate giving us a little bit of time, why do an interview for the Super Bowl if you don't believe that it's set up the right way?
Y'all asked me to. Don't nobody call me no other time until Super Bowl come, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did anybody when we got on the phone say, hey, how's your family doing? How your kids doing? No, none of that matters. So I'm gonna give you my honest opinion.
And I appreciate that. We do.
We do.
I mean, that is our job, though, is to talk sports. I mean, it's not personal.
So what is your honest
job to be real?
We understand that. So what is your honest opinion of Tom Brady being in 10 Super Bowls?
Good luck. A lot of luck,
Okay.
Because, everybody say Tom Brady, but if I can remember, there's a lot of kickers kicking kicks for him to make it there.
Well, Tom Brady did put him in a position to make those kicks.
So did Jim Kelly, but his kicker missed the kick.
He did miss a kick.
Right, he did.
He did miss a kick.
Well,
he also lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
But it's Jim Kelly's fault. Or it's not Tom Brady's fault. If his kicker do, like, come on, man. boy, man. We break stuff down like it's so small. Like, this is the only reason that it happened. Like, come on, man.
So the reason you guys won the Super Bowl wasn't because of your outstanding defense. It was because that's the way it was predetermined. That's what you're.
Well, I mean, if our defense was so outstanding, why we couldn't beat the Saints that year? Saints beat us twice. So why did the Oakland Raiders say we're gonna go in with the Saints game plan? Because they had Deuce McCall, they ran the ball down our throat. Why didn't they come in and say we're gonna do the same thing?
All right, D.
Now there's no more to talk.
Well, we don't know what else to say.
Oh,
You hear he's like, all right, dude, it's time to go. We about to get him off the phone. We don't want nothing to do with this.
All right, D.
now no more to talk.
Well, we don't know what else to say.
We're just caught off guard a little bit. That's all.
A little bit.
To be honest with you.
Let's talk about the fact that the Lions made Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders give back money, but they traded Matthew Stafford when he wanted to be.
Yeah, well, hey.
Barry Sanders didn't want to play for John Ross.
Let's not talk about the real things, man. Let's just talk about I got you, man. I got you.
Well, Barry Sanders didn't want to play for Bobby Ross, but that's another story for another day.
So
him and Calvin Johnson both asked to be traded. They wanted to go somewhere where they could try to win. They made them retire and give some of their money back.
all right, so let's for just a second. I just want to get your thoughts on Patrick Mahomes and what he's done at his young age.
It's great, man. I mean, the key for me with most teams is let's see how your team performs after your quarterback rookie contract kicks in. After, he's off his rookie contract.
So what do you think about Jameis Winston's time in Tampa Bay now that he's in New Orleans? Because
never liked it. Now, back to what I was saying. We watched the Seattle Seahawks be good until they paid Russell Wilson. We watched the Packers go to the Super Bowl until they paid Aaron Rodgers. The Eagles would win. The Rams would go off. So, you got to try to do it while you're on your rookie deal, unless you got Tom Brady as your quarterback.
All right, so how do you see this game playing out? I guess it's you already told us, right? It's just depending on what Vegas wants it to be, right?
Yeah, the New England Rams game 10-3, man. Who thought that would happen?
All right, Dwight, man, we appreciate a few minutes.
That was very telling. I encourage you guys to go watch that on your own. And there's no denying this shit. Look at this. Here you go. We're not gonna go and look at all the fucking bad calls, because if you do that, you're only gonna come to one conclusion. But obviously, in the script, they were supposed to have a first down, which is why the referee called for the first down. Here we go. Look. And, shout outs to everyone owned. She's been going down this rabbit hole too. Getting a lot of these videos for her. Everyone owned. Everyone is owned _5 on Instagram. But let's keep going down this rabbit hole. Oh man, this one was a good one right here. We're gonna go back to 11:30. This is a referee, a basketball referee. Of course, he's not gonna give up the guts, but he does a lot of shuffling, tap dancing, and covering up. I don't want to play. They don't want to play. Let's just stop that. Oh, well, forget that. What do we have here? Okay. Former NFL player Benny Cunningham admits that NFL is scripted but cannot go into full detail because of an NDA he signed with the league. NFL is scripted, but they must make us sign something, so we can't go into detail. Tired of holding back. Who wants the full story? That's Benny Cunningham of the Chicago Bears. Let that know. Okay. And that's just the NFL. I'm not going to cover every single one of these bad plays. I could speak on one reason that I started feeling this way back in the days about the game being rigged. It was the Patriots versus the Raiders. And just a really bad call that prevented them from getting a touchdown and winning the Super Bowl. And it was obvious. It wasn't in the script. So they had to make sure to get that touchdown back out of there and make sure the Raiders lost so that Las Vegas can get the money. How do you think these big-ass billion-dollar casinos are built? You think they're built from losing money on sports bets? No. They control the sports so they know what bets they're going to win. We heard that in this interview. Oh, no, sorry. In this interview. We heard of it.
What are you hearing from the powers that be? Anything?
They just want me to go away right now.
We've spoken to them, and they don't want to talk about it either. They have nothing to say.
But they're not denying
Nothing
it.
to say.
They're not refuting any of the facts.
Let me talk about some of the major charges. Now, I just jotted down.
So that's that. I want to move on to basketball because you guys really, really think that this shit is real. We already had. Wait, I think I got it right here. Matter of fact, a referee
says the playoffs.
well, let's stop. Tim Donahue, who already got Fed charges for throwing games. He got caught doing it. So, of course, they threw him under the bus. He only got 15 months for it. But here's another occurrence of the NFL's throwing, or the NBA throwing games to stretch out series to 7 games, and so that their team wins by the point spreads. Okay, let's see what this is.
Series between the Kings and Lakers in 2002 was fixed.
Let's go to Tony Lopez. He joins us live with the stunning allegations and the NBA's response to this. Tony?
And we thought the big fix was the name of the I-5 project going on right now. But if you believe former NBA ref Tim Donahue, who was not a referee in the game in question, but if you believe him...
Tim Donahue was the referee that already got charged and convicted for fixing games. Of course, after the conviction, they dumbed down his charges, or dumbed down his offenses, making it seem as if it was no big deal. He didn't affect any major games. However, let him tell it. He was working with the mob, and they were and he was winning games for them.
The fix was on in Game 6, and the Kings did not return here to Arco in 2002 as Western Conference champs. But maybe they should have.
You make this call right here as Kobe squeezes in between.
The refs made lots of calls that night in May of 2002, lots of calls against the Kings.
Hard to see how this is a foul on Vlade, who just sort of stands behind.
The Lakers went to the foul line 40 times, 27 in the fourth quarter, and won Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals, 106.
This is an episode of Conspir-A-See-The-Future, but they sure did kill Kobe. I wonder if this has anything to do with it.
102 to force the Game 7, which they eventually won. But Game 6 was arguably the most controversial game in the history of the Sacramento Kings. Win it, and Sacramento was headed to the NBA Finals. According to this court document filed today by former NBA referee Tim Donahue, the NBA was determined to not let that happen. Donahue, the ousted NBA referee who's admitted to fixing league games, says the league ordered the refs in the Kings-Lakers game to make sure the Lakers came out on top. The refs were allegedly told, quote, it would be in the NBA's interest to add another game to the series. Donahue says the referees called made-up fouls on the Kings to give the Lakers more chances at the free throw line.
That's not a foul. I'm sorry.
The announcers picked up on the phantom calls, and so did the fans, who tonight are shocked by the news and still stunned by the loss in 02. The alleged big fix in Game 6 was all the talk at Sports 1140.
But even more ridiculous than that, as I recall, my memory serves me, is the no calls that they were committing on Bibby.
No calls like this one. A Kobe elbow to the face, not a foul, said the refs. Tonight, the NBA issued a statement calling the allegations, quote, a desperate attempt by Donahue to lighten the sentence that will be imposed for his criminal conduct. A King tonight told me they had no comment on the allegations, saying the Kings, quote, focus on the future, not the past.
So Tim Donahue apparently was snitching on the other referees. And like, hey, I'm not the only one that does this. He was trying to get less time for his charges. He had been already, he was on trial at the time, and he was facing some years. Ended up only getting like 15 months. But as you can hear from that reporting, is that he was throwing the other referees under the bus. He was like, I'm not the only one doing this. He pointed out that game right there, the referees were instructed to ensure that the Lakers won, and it went 7. So hey, this isn't a conspiracy theory, man. This is like, it's already been proven. Here goes an article. It's like a load. It take a little minute to load. But I have an article for this is the Tim Donahue. This is the gentleman that was throwing the games, admittedly convicted. Okay, infamous NBA referee Tim Donahue to have documentary made about his story per report. See, I'm not sure what documentary, but I've already seen this story, and so I'm so familiar with it. He was doing some major ratchet shit. He was saying he wasn't like ensuring teams win. He was just making sure that they matched the spread, so that him and his constituents, the people that he was working with, would win their bets. Which I believe they said 70-something% of the time he won the bets, and I believe he won the bets for him. He made the right call so that they could match the spread. I don't want to get too far into, so I don't necessarily remember too much detail, but let's read this article. Questionable calls have happened in any sports event, but former NBA referee Tim Donaghy is known for doing a lot more than just accidentally messing up a few calls through his career. The veteran referee, who became infamous, known for fixing NBA games and gambling on them, will soon get his story told on the Netflix documentary. Of course, they're going to dumb it down. They're not going to let him tell the real story. They're not going to. They're not going to let him tell the extent of the story. About the other referees that were doing the same thing. I guarantee you. Let's keep going. Donahue worked at the FBI from 1994 to 2007. He resigned when his gambling arrangements were discovered, and an FBI investigation led to 15 months prison sentence. His attorney, John Luro, told U.S. District Attorney Carol Allen that Donaghy had gambling addiction and needed treatment. Donaghy tried to soften his punishment, which could have been up to 33 months, by providing additional information about widespread misconduct by the NBA. So he was snitching on the other referees to try to save him from getting the 33 months that they had offered him. Of course, the NBA swept it under the bus, called the dude a liar and all kinds of other stuff. But of course, we know why they did that. We read in the ChatGTP. Let's go there. It's important to remember that professional sports leagues like the NFL rely on integrity of their competition to maintain their credibility and fan base, and any evidence of scripting or fixing would have severe consequences for the league's reputation and financial viability, which explains why Donahue also tried to soften his punishment, which could have been 33 months, by providing additional information on widespread misconduct at the NBA. This is a key reason why the documentary could be particularly controversial. Another reason is that, according to Boney, Donaghy himself will be involved in the making of it. Okay, making of the documentary. Okay, the upcoming documentary won't be the first time we get an inside look at what happened. He gave the first-person account of it all in his book, Personal Foul, which was published in 2009. There have also been more than a handful of podcast documentaries, and even a movie that talked about Donaghy's story. The Whistleblower podcast started in 2020, digs deep into the scandal. Okay, we're not going to read the whole thing. Let's last paragraph. Okay, Netflix already has a docuseries called Bad Sports, which I believe that's where I saw the that's where I got the information of him about. I believe that's the documentary I watched. Anyways, Netflix already has a docuseries called Bad Sports that focuses on controversies in the sports world. It is sorry about that. No, Bad Sports. That is another. Donaghy wasn't in that one, but there was another case of rigging games by the Sun Devils point guard. That was in this documentary. What was his name? Here you go. Wait. Sorry about that. Yeah, the point guard. Here you go. Let's go ahead and read it off of Wikipedia. I don't like reading Wikipedia shit, but hey, we're gonna read this one just for the heck of it. Okay, so yeah, in that documentary that they're just talking about in the article, Benny Silman, he was a bookie that went to that school, and he came to the point guard of the Sun Devils basketball team, Steven Hadake Smith, and offered him an opportunity to make some money by shaving points, which he was the leading player, the star player of the game. He was really good. He made the moves for that team. He scored the most points, so it was nothing for him to shave points. He brought on his friend Isaac Burton to help him, so the two together would cover spreads, save points to cover spreads, and they're making like $10,000 a game for doing this. It all came to head when students at the school realized what was going on. They wanted a piece of the action, and Sun Devil students were showing up in Las Vegas to make wagers, which alerted the feds. And Stephen Adate got busted and lost his opportunity to play in the NBA. He never got to play in the NBA because of that. The NBA didn't want that dark cloud over them because we already know that they were participating in it. They didn't want anybody to assume that by having Steven Smith play as well, that it would just pretty much be reinforcing their what they had believed in the first place, which was, yeah, the NBA is LARPing for Vegas. LARPing for Vegas. So let's finish reading this article. Okay, I got off a little bit. He already made an appearance in the 2001 documentary Malice in Place. No more details, including the release date, have been shared. Yeah. All right. So that was that. That was just about the referee Donahue who got caught throwing games. So the other ones didn't get caught. So that's why it continues. Even we have here Aisha Curry, Stephen Curry's wife, put out a tweet. I've lost all respect. Sorry. This is absolutely rigged for money or ratings. I'm not quite sure which. I won't be silent. I just saw it. Sorry. I just saw it live. Sorry. Aisha has never been shy on Twitter, and obviously can't be fined for criticizing the NBA. But whoa, the tweet was unexpected. After deleting the initial tweet, she posted a response 30 minutes later. Let's watch this. I didn't watch this video, but let's watch it.
Do this before bed to stop receding gums and decaying teeth before it's too late. 25% of adults over 60.
Robo has some bootleg.
Hi everybody, welcome to The Truth That Never Sleeps here on YouTube. Please subscribe as I expose the satanic New World Order system.
I changed my mind. We're not going to watch this one. I'm going to watch it first. But here we go. Let's see. DeMarcus.
This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. It's obvious what's being done out here. It's on a nightly basis. I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Yes, man. This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. It's obvious what's being done out here. It's on a nightly basis.
As you see here, he's very upset. No one gave him the memo. He didn't get the script. He just coming to his own realization that, hey, the NBA is rigged. It harsh wake-up call for him. As you can see, he's pissed. But players like LeBron James, they got the script. But yeah, you didn't even need to go too much in the NBA rig, and there's already plenty of evidence. Like I said, the Tim Donahue, the dude fucking blatantly did it. He got caught, so they threw him under the bus, but they didn't mention anything about any other referees. They kept it clean because the show must go on. Why can't they just come out and say that it's LARPing? Well, here's why. It's important to remember that professional sports leagues like the NFL rely on the integrity of their competition to maintain their credibility and fan base, and any evidence of scripting or fixing would be severe consequences for the league's reputation and financial viability. They don't want to lose that money. They need the money. And let's move on. If you're not aware, UFC just merged with WWE. UFC just merged with WWE. Tell me that's not crazy. So if you believe that the UFC isn't LARPing, then you're this girl.
Go team! Go sports!
Go team!
All right. Can you just explain what's going on here?
Hi, thank you. I have no idea.
You're this girl. If you believe that the UFC isn't a LARP, you're that girl. So I want to just check this out. These are where are we going? UFC weigh-ins. Why do UFC weigh-ins? Why are they bringing props like they're in the WWE? You got props. Wait, hold on. Homie's got a machete. It's a prop, though. It's a prop. Why did they let him bring that on there? Because the UFC is the WWE. Doesn't it look a lot like this? Look, doesn't it look like a lot like this? Look at this. That was a UFC weigh-in. Now we're gonna look at some WWE weigh-ins. Don't they look? Look at this.
Ryan Kendrick, 157.
Well, we all know WWE is scripted. We all know. But now they merged with the UFC. Okay? And now we got UFC fighters bringing props to the weigh-in. Like WWE. We know WWE, they be having chairs and all kinds of props. Now the UFC allowing their fighters to bring props. This shit ain't real. The normies are, hey, you normies are ridiculous if you fucking believe that the UFC isn't a LARP. It's all LARPing. Oh, here we go. Let's show you a little bit.
This is the biggest problem with you. You're so disrespectful, not only to the business as a whole, but to all of these people out here.
Well, we know, like I said, we know the WWE is scripted.
This will never be your show. This is the people's show.
Now we have.
And you know what that means?
And now we have WWE. Of course, they're a little bit more tense. They're a little better with their acting, you know. But it's all the same. UFC and WWE are under the same umbrella of ownership. So we know that it's we got definitely LARPing. I just wanted to show you. Now we definitely know that that it's LARPing. Look, here we go. It's about as real as this shit. It's about as real. This is the NFL. This is the beta LARPing. And what we have here, alpha LARPing. Beta LARPing.
Okay.
More beta LARPing. These are the nerds, of course. They say.
Nope. No. Red. Behind me.
If you LARP, you're a nerd. So, but
and he's within a couple of yards of the first.
If you're an NFL LARPer,
And up the middle they
you're not a nerd. You're a stud.
To pick up the first.
It's all LARPing though. All LARPing. Beta LARPing. Alpha LARPing. Anyways, that's all I got for this episode today, man. I'm gonna dig up some more. I'm gonna dig up some more shit. But as far as this episode goes, we're at about 50 minutes. I think we proved our theory that professional sports is a LARP. It's been a LARP. And all the normies, it's a LARP to distract you, to grab your attention, to get your money. You guys believe wholeheartedly that it's like real, but it's just entertainment. Okay? It's just entertainment. But that does it for today's episode of Conspir-A-See-The-Future, where we break down and analyze current topics and whatnot. Today, I think we broke down the professional sport LARP pretty well. But you let me know if you have any other incidents in the comment. Maybe in another episode, we'll pull up some plays. It'll be a long show if we did that, because these referees are in on it, obviously. So now that you've seen this video, watch the sports that you watch, like the normie that you are, with criticism. And maybe you'll start to see, as we saw today with your own eyes, that these sports, NFL, NBA, even the NHL, it's all live action role playing. Well, that does it for me today. It's your host, Stewie Do It. I'm out the building. Have a good day.